What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Samson. If you've seen the title, if you've seen the thumbnail, then you know what we're probably doing today. I have my 2017 Yamaha MT10. About to see if we can make a deal on selling it to upgrade to the ZH2. Now, as you guys know, I've talked about it on the channel before. The ZH2 has long been kind of like my dream bike. With this one, got a certain number that I'm looking for it, just to be able to get me as low as possible on my borrowing amount. At the same time, it's kind of like a bittersweet moment. I absolutely love this bike. The sound on it, the amount of stuff that I've been through with this bike has been insane. Nonetheless, absolutely love it. You can see she has a little bit of wear, got a few scratches, a little bit of a dent on the tank, but we do have some carbon upgrades, a whole lot of nice stuff on it. So hopefully we can come to a deal out here, see what happens. All right, guys, it is a few days later. As of right now, we are actually on the way to Virginia. Just to give you guys a little bit of background, we were able to go ahead and sell the MT10. I ended up taking a little bit less than I wanted for it, just because I really needed the cash if I was going to put towards a major down payment for this particular bike. MT10, for you guys that don't know, had over 34,000 miles on it. I have been through so much with that bike. Sort of like that's my first 1000cc bike, and so really went through a lot with it. It had some blemishes, so I was, kind of expecting to have to take a little bit less for it. But nonetheless, needed the cash if you wanted to do a down payment on this. And with it being winter, you can find a lot of deals on motorcycles. There's going to be, since nobody's really buying because it's not necessarily riding season, you can find a lot of motorcycles that are on sale, or at least for sale, for a better price than you would usually end up thinking you could get for them. And so when I found these ZH2s, and I say ZH2s because I was sort of playing around with the idea of 4 of them, just sort of talking to the owners, trying to get different details on how much they wanted, the mileage, the condition, and all that type of stuff. One of the ZH2s we were looking at, I might actually try to put the pictures and everything up on the screen. It was kind of the one that I wanted the most. It was a 2021 ZH2 SE Plus model. It came with the electronic suspension, the upgraded Brembos. It came in that beautiful Kawasaki green and black paint with the real nice sparkle in it. It had about 5,000 miles, so it wasn't too high on the miles, and it was located in Pennsylvania. The only issue with that bike, and the only reason that we're not getting that bike, is because the owner still owed a financing company. Not a bank, but an actual financing company. If anybody has dealt with financing companies, you'll know they are not as forgiving as banks are. And I spoke with the financing company, trying to just sort of figure out some type of deal in which, me and him would both sort of be protected. If somebody owes money on a bike and you're trying to buy said bike, the bank or financing company in this case still has the title. Essentially, what the deal is they have a contract with the owner that you're trying to buy the bike or car, whatever the case may be. They have a contract with them basically stating that whenever said amount is paid off, they will then release the lien on whatever the vehicle is and send them the title. The only issue with that particular case is, of course, if you're paying the bike off for somebody and they're sending you the title, you have to trust that person that they are going to send you the title. There's going to be a lot of documentation that you can try to write up and get notarized to somewhat make it, kind of like a legally binding agreement that you paying off their motorcycle means that it belongs to you, and that they are to send you the title and sign it over and everything once they receive it. However, it's a lot of cases that I've heard of where folks have issues with titles, getting the bike registered because the owner didn't have the title, no title was able to be found. And the last thing I want to do is basically pay somebody $14,000 for them to pay off their bike. They get the title, decide to not send it to me, and I have to go through a bunch of legal jargon in order to get the title, or them just claim the bike is stolen, and now I have a bike that I'm in possession of that's not stolen. I actually paid for it, but the owner's just being a bit of a richer and not sending over the title. So I didn't really want to have to deal with that, which is actually kind of a bummer, because when I was looking at the ZH2s, originally I just was going to get a base model, but it would have been awesome to have sort of just an upgraded trim level, even though it only has electronic suspension and Brembo upgrades, even though the base model also has Brembos. But I guess the Brembos on the SE have steel braided lines. I think the caliper is a little bit bigger, but that's about all that's difference wise, at least from what I've been able to read on forums. You know, that was a little bit of a disappointment, but for $14,000 I thought it was going to be a great deal. Just sort of didn't want to have to go through all that possible headache in order to get the bike. Now our other option was a 2020 ZH2. It was a base model and it had about 1,300 miles on it, and it was almost completely stock, I believe. I don't think it had anything except for maybe some frame sliders, and the owner for that one wanted 13. I was able to get them down to 12.5, and that was another one that I was strongly considering. The only issue is this owner owed a bank so I was going to end up having to sort of pay off what he owed the bank and basically go through the same process. Granted, I think this process would have been a little bit easier being that it was the bank and not a finance company. And I spoke with the bank. They made it seem like the process was going to be a little bit easier as well. The only issue with this one was it was a 2020. The financing thing didn't help, but it was a 2020. I was trying to get as new of a model for a good price as I could. And so, you know, just sort of talking back and forth with the guy, I decided I was going to look one more time before making a decision on if I was going to go with his bike or not. And I ended up finding this 2021 all black ZH2 as well. And that is the one that we are actually going to try to get today. Nothing major with this one. It's a 2021, so it was the, you know, sort of like the newest that I could find that was on sale for a good price. The owner wanted 14. I was able to get them talked down to 12.7, and it had 1,400 miles on it. Completely stopped. Doesn't even have frame sliders. It's just completely stopped. And the only downside with this one, and the only reason I had reservations about it, is because for one, it was in all black. If I was going to get a Kawasaki, I kind of wanted to have some Kawasaki green. If you guys love Kawasaki, you know what I'm talking about. I would have loved to have had at least a green frame on it. Not a big fan of the gray that comes on the ZH2s when they have the green frame, the gray, green, and black combo. Not a big fan of the gray, but I didn't like that it was just, you know, completely black. Did want some green. And also the owner had the title from where he had bought it from the previous owner, but he just never got it registered. And so the title just open. He hadn't signed it or anything like that. So I'm hoping that I won't have any issues sort of just going through signing the title over, basically signing the title in my name and going to the DMV, getting it registered. Hopefully we won't have any issues, but that's what we're on the way to today. Give you guys a little bit more of an inside look into the bike whenever we get there, and of course, you know, hopefully whenever I bring it back home. Yeah, Sam or Samson?
Nate.
Nice to meet you, my boy.
Very
nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. This is my sister.
Very nice to meet you.
Yeah, she decided to
Very
make
nice
the ride with me today. Awesome, man. So this is it, huh?
Yep, this is it.
I think actually being here, I think the black grew on me a little bit.
Yeah, you can see it's that metallic color.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
And so it's got the accents on the front fender.
Yeah.
And then it's got that very
same.
cool one-sided intake.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome, man.
And then I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but if you look in here, you can see that the
red,
is red. Yeah.
Yeah, the red in there. Nice, and it's got the black on the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I love the Cowie green, buddy, but no, I kind of like this.
It's super nice.
Oh yeah,
I really like it. And this is my car, so I like the black and
oh yeah, and I got a 2012 Camaro that's black.
Oh, so there you go.
Camaro.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I said at the very least, I said it'll match those.
You can start it up, do whatever you want.
Alrighty.
It's not as heavy as you would think. No, honestly, all the weight is so low. It really is.
It's been so long since I've been on the couch.
And then so you can go through all the settings. I've got it in the show yourself mode.
Yeah.
So if you're tracking to the so loud. It sounds so nice though.
Oh yeah. That is awesome, man.
Yep.
Now, was there any break-in period for it? Like, am I gonna have to take it to?
So I already did the break-in period. The
Okay.
break-in period's about 700 to 800 miles.
Okay.
You do an oil change at 300 miles and then an oil change at about 800 miles or 1,000 miles, depending on what you want to do. So those have already been done. By the way, I just did another oil change at the 1,500 mile mark.
Yeah.
And so you can see the oil right here in the sight glass.
Yeah, on the sight glass.
It's all really new.
Yeah.
Here. There you go. Brand new oil. And
Alrighty.
so it's gonna shift super clean
Yeah.
whenever you're obviously first to second you might hit that neutral if you don't click hard enough. But from second all the way to sixth is super clean.
And what were you getting rid of it for again?
So I just am having a baby, so
Yeah.
I'm not in the department of trying to kill myself.
Oh
right
yeah.
now.
Oh no.
So I need to save up for some things. Just got home from deployment and my
Yeah.
wife is really pregnant. So all of it.
Extra keys in here too.
Yep.
I don't even feel it. Is it down there in the bottom? Oh, I
Yeah,
feel
you'll
it
see
down there in the bottom.
blue wrap on it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess the only thing left for me to check is really just look at the VINs to make sure that they match.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. All right. Sorry.
It's all good. Yeah, be careful. Don't let nothing fly away.
Yeah. It's not gonna be super loud.
I know. That's pretty sick still, though. V12. Oh, yeah. Man, you putting exhaust on this thing?
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be insane.
I'll pop it in.
It is gonna be freaking insane, yo. It's got, what are those, 6 piston calipers?
Yeah, I think so. They're something like that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of motor, buddy.
And it comes factory with this from
The carbon, yeah. Is it pretty much all stock?
Yeah, it's all stock.
Yeah, it's got electronic suspension and
Yep, it does. It's all hydraulic. It uses the power steering pump for the hydraulic suspension.
yeah,
So it's called ABC suspension. It's active body control.
yeah,
And so what happens is, you know how you have to put like sway bars and struts and all that stuff like that in cars nowadays to counteract the body roll that you
Yeah,
have in the
yeah.
corners? This thing senses the compression on that side that it's like loosening up and like if you're turning left and it's starting to float this way.
yeah.
It'll stiffen up that right side and then it'll keep that left side planted.
So it acts kind of like a sway bar in a
Yes,
sense.
exactly. You don't even have to add sway bars
Yeah.
at all.
For 2006, I mean, still, bro, it's not bad.
Yeah, and it's got a ram air intakes to the turbos.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then the turbos are somewhere deep in there.
Twin turbo V8, buddy, I mean,
V12.
oh, V12, I mean, you got whoever worked on it, signed it as well. Oh, man, that is nice. You mind if I look at the interior too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Nah, bro, this is tough. Got the sunroof, the suede ceiling. This is
This is Alcantara.
yeah, Alcantara. Well,
Yeah, and you know everything works.
give it one more shake, and I gotta say I kind of do like the black. Oh yeah, that thing is stiff. The whole trailer is actually moving, so I think it'll be okay. Let me make sure I get the key out. Last thing I want is the key to be flying out while I'm down the road. Oh, go on, man. That's not bad. Not bad.